Namaste, Jai Bharat. Iran is no longer Persia. In this sense, I'm speaking politically, not really culturally. Politically, Iran is no longer Persia. Iran today is a dictatorial regime. And what kind of dictatorship? Whatever dictatorship is dictatorship. Whether it is Marxian kind of projection of dictatorship of proletarians, which never happens or which never happened, and which is logically impossible to happen for various reasons. But Iran is not the kind of Iran which used to be in the history for political reasons. The people, of course, shall remain what they used to be, culturally, traditionally. Now, many people in Iran would like to narrate the name Iran to the concept of Aryan. They would say that Aryan is a term from where Iran's name came. I do not know to what extent they could be legitimate. But then, with these things, I'm very sure, this thing I know that these people are treating the concept of Aryan as a racial concept or ethnic concept, something like that. But Aryan is a concept originally from Bharat. Aryan is a concept originally from the Rig Veda. Rig Veda is undoubtedly the first ever book of mankind, which got written much later. It existed in the Shruti Smriti traditions, not in the written pattern as things are these days. So they say that they're Aryans, no problem. They can be Aryans legitimately. But let's understand what Aryan is to speak in Iranian context. There could well be Aryans because Iran was ruled by Hindus at one upon a time. There used to be the Aryans 1, 2, etc., who were fundamentally Sanatani kings, Hindu kings. And if you remember, when the Greeks were attacked by the Romans, the Roman conquest on Greece, the Romans were the Greeks were a distinct kind of people who used to have their own civilization, their own culture, and of course their own religion. Now the problem of or the significance of religion is that, at least in ancient times, in most places, religion used to remain a platform where the culture operates. Now with the religion getting pulled out as a postulate of culture, the culture also suffers heavily, except what happened in Bharat, because in Bharat it's not religion, it's dharma, and it was not upon dharma that our Sanskriti culture was operating. It was on a knowledge tradition basis. So this made a lot of difference, and I'm not going into that. So Iran, they call us Aryans all right, but then Aryans not as a race. They treat Aryans as a race. Let's be very clear. The first expression of the concept of Aryan in Rig Veda says Praja Arya Jyotira. Right? Simple. Praja Arya Jyotira Gra would imply that those who are guided by light and those who look for light can be called as Aryan. It's not a racial. It's not the case that Aryan is a denotative concept. It's a racial concept. It's an ethnic concept. There's nothing like that. Aryan is a qualitative concept, to be very clear. People or anyone with the stipulated qualities of that of Aryan shall be called as Aryan or Arya they say, but Aryan in Sanskrit. We have a dictionary in Sanskrit, the first ever lexicon, if I'm not wrong, Amarakosha, which defines the meaning of the term Aryan as Sabhya, Sajjana, Sadguna, etc. The Amarakosha dictionary very clearly says that Aryan is anyone. Aryan is anyone who has these qualities. The qualities are stipulated. So Aryan is not a denotative concept, it's a connotative concept. So Iranians, they claim to be Aryans, they're fine, that's right. They used to be Aryans, and that's when they were Hindus. That's when Darius was ruling, and that time I was talking about Greek civilization. The Greeks had a tremendously powerful, very good religion called this Hellenism, and the deities were absolutely akin to the Vedic deities of Sanatana Dharma. So, something of a mirror image of Hindu Dharma of those days, this Hellenism. And the Roman conquest destroyed the Greek religion and substituted Christianity in time with Hellenism, and this Greek scholarship got destroyed. The Greek philosophers, they had a tremendous tradition of philosophy, but was very, very short living. We have Socrates to begin with their mark, but then there are pre-Socratic philosophers in Greece, the Milesians, for example, Thales, Anaximander, Anaxagoras, etc. They used to be there, but then a systematic kind of philosophy arises with Socrates, and Plato started writing the thoughts of Socrates in dialogue form. Of course, dialogue form is Upanishadic. They were influenced, nothing unusual, because knowledge societies used to interact with one another, no matter in which time. They used to interact with one another naturally. So the deities were akin to Sanatana Dharma, Hindu Dharma, the Upanishadic method of writing dialogues they have written. But then with Plato, then comes Aristotle and this Lyceum. Plato's academy was called as gymnasium. And then, of course, the student of Aristotle is Alexander, who is not a philosopher but a great conqueror. And with Alexander, things are over because of this Roman conquest. The Christianity gets into Greece, and the scholars that time, this is what I am telling, that time scholars from Greece, they fled Greece and went to Iran. They went to the king Darius, who was ruling Iran. So look at the scholars had to move closer to a place they could not reach Bharat. Many must have reached Bharat, but then they'll get blended and amalgamated with Bharat, because that's the Sanskriti of Bharat. Went to Iran, and that's how the Greek philosophy became extinct in time. So they are Aryans, they used to be Aryans, but Amarkosha also says something, that when you have the quality of an Aryan, you are an Aryan, and then when you lose qualities, then you immediately become an Arya. So Amarkosha, I think Amarkosha or which text, talking about the Pehlavas, the Kambods, etc., who became Anaryas, and Dravids, of course, who became Anaryas by losing Aryan quality. So Aryan is a connotative concept. You have those concepts, you can be called as Aryan. When you lose such concepts, you instantly, and at once you become an Arya. So Aryan is not a racial concept. So the Persians are partially right to say that they used to be Aryans when they had the quality of Aryans, but then they are partially wrong, because they have lost all the Aryan qualities. Undoubtedly they lost all the Aryan qualities, so that now they are Anaryas. So there's no point in claiming that they were Aryans. Aryans they used to be when they had the qualities. Now they are no more, because they've lost the qualities of what an Aryan ought to be. So this connotative concept, it is not denotative. When it is a connotative concept, if you lose the qualities, you are not that. When you have the qualities, you are that. It means one can acquire the qualities and become an Aryan, something like Maharshatva. One can acquire the qualities and become an Aryan. And once you don't, you lose it, you become an Aryan. So partially right, they are Aryans, and partially wrong, they are Aryans. So we shall meet again with some other thought. Namaste. Jai Bharat and Jai Sri Ram.